Keep yourself in the loop of everything football on the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. The latest news on and off the field, be it college football, Big Ten, SEC, Big 12, Pac-12, ACC to the NFL. We've got you covered. Listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast.
Hi, welcome to the GSMC Football Podcast. This episode is brought to you by adamandeve.com. If you go to adamandeve.com and type in the promo code football, you'll get 50% off just about any item. I'm your host, Jesse Tapia, and to start out, I want to preview the Dolphins and Ravens game for tonight. So starting out, I'm just gonna give a little background on how the teams did last Sunday, and then, like I said, just preview the game today. So the Miami Dolphins last week pulled out another comeback. I think we should start calling them the Cardiac Kids. They've won, I believe it's 12 straight when the game is within 8 points. And as a Dolphins fan, it's not really something I'm really used to. I'm always used to them not being able to pull it out. I remember there was a 1 year when it was a few close games and Dan Carpenter just couldn't kick a field goal to save his life. So now I got PTSD from that every time the field goal kicker comes out. But now they've been on it. Think mid-third quarter last game. Yeah, mid-third quarter, Jay Cutler went down and cracked his ribs, and you never want to see a player go down with an injury, but sorry about that. But when Matt Moore came in, you could tell that the offense was totally different and energized. He came in, threw a pick, but you know what? He came back strong and threw 2 touchdowns and brought him back for the win. They came back and won the game 31-28, and now they're 4-2, headed to Baltimore. And as far as Baltimore goes, their offense they're struggling bad right now. Mike Wallace has a concussion. He's in the protocol right now. It's not really known if he's going to play. Jeremy Maclin, we're not sure if he's playing because he's out with a shoulder injury. And Brashad Perryman also has a concussion, so we're not sure if he'll play. So that's 3 of Flacco's top receivers that he's going to miss. And after the game against Minnesota, when they lost, I think it was 24-21 or something like that, Joe Flacco was asked by a reporter about the offense, and Joe Flacco said, you know what, I don't think our offense is completely broken, but that's not really something that's not really encouraging to hear as a fan or even as a team, because it's not completely broken, but you're admitting that, yeah, it is kind of broken. So, I mean, this game's going to be kind of interesting because Miami hasn't won in Baltimore since 1997, I believe it was, and that's when Dan Marino was quarterback. So we'll see how the day goes. But I think this game's really going to come down to Miami's offense versus the Baltimore's defense. And as far as Baltimore's offense goes and Miami's defense goes, if Baltimore doesn't have their weapons, then, I mean, Cam Wake and the defensive line, they're going to feast. And I really like how the young corners have been playing. Xavier Howard, he's in his second year, and Cordrea Tankersley, he's rookie year, and he's had some little rookie mistakes and whatnot, but he's pretty much held his own. He did well against Julio Jones, and so did Xavier Howard. So this week, it's going to be a low-scoring game, I believe. On paper, Miami should win, even with Matt Moore starting, but like I said, Miami hasn't won in Baltimore since 1997, and they've lost 7 out of the last 8 or 6 out of the last 7. Last year, they got blown out 38-6 by Baltimore when Miami went on a little hot streak with Tannehill before he got injured. And today is really going to come down to whether or not the Baltimore defense can hold the Miami's offense. Baltimore, I believe, is giving up around 145 yards a game, but I believe they are getting defensive tackle Brandon Williams back, so that might help with it. And Miami, when they run the ball more than 18 times with J.J., they've been undefeated since he's been on the team. And as far as, I expect Jarvis Landry to have a pretty good game too, because I think he's 10 away from 330 receptions, and Jarvis, he's always up for the big games and whatnot. And Kenny Stills, finally, dude's been on the side of a milk carton, basically missing for the whole season with Cutler throwing to him, and Matt Moore comes in and boom, he scores 2 touchdowns, helps tie up the game, and everything looks like it's back to normal. But as far as Baltimore goes, their offense, it's really bad. Like I said, Perriman, Wallace, and Macklin might be out, and really their running game is okay, but Miami's defensive line has been on fire so far. Charles Harris has been a really good rookie so far this year. He doesn't really get too many snaps because he's been playing behind Andre Branch, and Cam Wake is always going to solidify his spot. So as far as that goes, he does his job when he comes in. And William Hayes, they acquired him from the Rams this season, and I wasn't really sure how well he was going to do, but so far he's been really outstanding. I hope they extend him after this year. So he's just been on fire so far, and the only thing that really worries me, I guess, about Miami's defense would be the corners and the secondary, because there was a few plays against the Jets last week where there was one where Robbie Anderson scored on a fly route against Tankersley, and I think Tankersley was expecting Rashad Jones to help him out, but Rashad Jones came and took the under route and left Tankersley all alone, which, like I said, left him wide open and scored the touchdown. But as far as the Ravens go, if they need either Mike Wallace or Macklin, one of those guys, to be out there, because if not, they're going to have a hard time. If Mike Wallace is out there, I'd expect he's going to have his little revenge game against Miami, because honestly, most teams against Miami do. And and Mike Wallace, he was good for Miami when he was there. The fans, they really didn't appreciate him enough, but his first year, I believe he had, it was about 75 receptions, which was a career high for him, and then the next year he had 10 touchdowns, which was also a career high for him. And the only thing that really didn't work out for them was Ryan Tannehill struggled with the deep ball, so Mike Wallace really didn't get as much as he probably expected to get while he was in Miami, because they did give him that big contract. But as far as how it went for those couple of years, I felt like he did fine, and I think he might have left with a little sour taste in his mouth since Miami traded him to Minnesota for I think it was a 5th or a 7th round pick. It wasn't really much. It was pretty much we're done with you, so we're going to send you out. So yeah, if he does play, expect him to have a good game. And then as far as the Baltimore's running game goes, they've had Alex Collins out there, and he's been doing pretty well. Like I said, Sue, and another interesting player actually that plays alongside Sue is rookie David Godchaux. He hasn't really been starting since Jordan Phillips has came back, but he's been doing pretty well. Miami drafted him, I believe, this year in the 5th round. Yeah, 5th round. And he has about maybe, I think, a forced fumble and a couple of tackles in the backfield. So when he's out there, he produces. And as far as, I guess we could talk now about Miami's offense and the Ravens defense, Adam Gase said, I believe, this week in a press conference that he didn't change much when Matt Moore went out there, as far as him doing to what Jay Cutler did. So as a fan and as a, I guess, writer and stuff like that, you wonder if you haven't switched anything and Matt Moore is out there and doing his job, doing way better than Cutler has, because honestly, Cutler has looked awful so far this season. You might as well keep Matt Moore out there for the rest of the season, so we'll see. And Baltimore, like I said, they're not in a good place right now, but for some reason, they're Miami's kryptonite. Every time Miami goes there, it's always a tough game. Even when Baltimore comes to Miami, it's a tough game. I think the last time Miami won was that 2007 year when they went. It was 1-15, yeah. And I believe the game was in overtime, and Greg Camarillo ran it was a post or in route, and he caught it and took it all the way for their only win. So, like I said, that was the last time Miami's won. So I guess we're going to see how it is today. It's a primetime game, and like I said, Baltimore always gives Miami fits, but I don't really expect this game it's not going to be really like a high-scoring game. This is going to be one of those Thursday night games where the fans and media and all, they're going to complain. This isn't going to be a fun game. This isn't going to be a high-scoring game or anything like that. It's going to be defense, defense, defense. I think Miami's going to be able to pull it out. It's going to be real ugly, like I said, but Miami will be able to pull it out. I'm expecting way more of like a maybe 21-10 type of game or 17-10 type of game. But yeah, like I said, this isn't going to be a good one for the NFL. Fans are going to be complaining. Media is going to be complaining. But Miami needs to pull this one out, and if they do, they got the Raiders next week and Sunday night, and the Ravens, honestly, they need to win this game too, but if they can, I mean, their chances of making the playoffs or even competing for the wild card, it's going to be a hurt because their offense has just been bad. So yeah, I like Miami in this one, and I expect them, I'm going to call 17-10. Yeah, that's going to be my final prediction, 17-10 to Miami, and hopefully after this week, Adam Gase will be like, you know what? Yeah, let's go with more. He's better for the offense. But like I said, we'll see. Okay, now we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to go over the whole Martavis Bryant situation and pretty much talk about where it is now. So stay tuned to the GSMC podcast and we'll be right back. Are you looking to spice things up in the bedroom? Have you been fantasizing about surprising your lover with an adventurous new toy or adult movie? Well, here's an offer you're not going to be able to resist. If you go to adamandeve.com and for a limited time only, you'll get 50% off just about any item. But trust me, that's not all. Oh no. When you select one item at 50% off, you're also going to receive 3 free adult DVDs for a little inspiration, plus a free extra gift so sensual they won't even let me talk about it on the radio. And to top it all off, they're even going to throw in free shipping on your entire order. And no, they're not kidding. So check out adamandeve.com today for the special offer. You'll get 50% off one item when you type in football. That's FOOTBALL for the offer code upon checkout. When you do, you'll get 3 free DVDs, a free extra gift, and free shipping. Just use the offer code football at adamandeve.com. That's FOOTBALL football at adamandeve.com. All right, welcome back to the GSMC football podcast. And next up, we're going to be talking about this whole Martavis Bryant situation. It's been a bit of a sticky type of thing for them. I don't know, Martavis Bryant, he's just almost acting like a diva so far. But we're going to do like a little chronological type of thing with how it's gone so far. So starting out, we all know that Martavis Bryant, we all know he was solid for them for the first couple of years. And then he had the whole marijuana incident, and he was suspended for quite a bit. And the Steelers didn't have to deal with it, so they could have cut him, but they chose not to. Mike Tomlin chose to stick by his guy, and they got him help, and now he's back. But he's not getting enough targets, according to himself, so he's unhappy. It started out probably, I think it was with an Instagram comment. Yeah, actually, I have it right here. He left a comment saying on Instagram, "Juju is nowhere near better than me, fool. All they need to do is give me what I want, and y'all can have Juju and whoever else." Doesn't seem like much of a team player there to me, honestly. So now after that, he's been requesting for a trade and pretty much been pouting game after game. Like I said, just requesting trade after trade. And Mike Tomlin said that, you know what, he's not available. And Mike Tomlin actually ended up putting him on the scout team on Wednesday, and he won't play this Sunday night against Detroit. So now we're going to talk about, I guess, whether or not this is a good idea, and talk about whether or not they should actually trade him and whatnot. So as far as putting him on the scout team, I'm not really sure how I feel about the decision so far. I mean, if you're not going to, he wasn't producing, so yeah, or actually, let's start out for why Mike Tomlin said he put him on the scout team. Tomlin said he put him on the scout team because of how he was acting on social media, and I'm sure that's going to come from his Instagram. So now that he's on the scout team, good job, Martavis. Now you're not getting the ball at all, and you're going to be inactive this Sunday. Excuse me. So where do we go from here? I think that it might be a good idea, but it could also backfire. I guess we're going to learn a lot about Martavis from this whole moving to the scout team. We're going to see if, you know what, he's still a meat player, or if he's going to think, you know what, I messed up. Okay. This is the Steelers. They don't mess around the Steelers. They're in the same league as the Patriots, meaning they run things a certain way, and they always have, whether it was with Cowher or now. And they don't really like to mess around. They run a tight locker room, and they know what the goal is, and that's to win a Super Bowl. So now we're going to see if Martavis is all about the team or if Martavis is all about Martavis, okay? Because as far as targets go and whatnot, Antonio Brown, he was frustrated in the beginning of the season, and because he wasn't getting enough, and now he's got about 765 yards, and he's leading the league in yards by far. I think the next highest is AJ Green with around 565 or somewhere around there. So Antonio Brown's finally getting his, and you're not going to take targets away from him. He's the best in the league, and honestly, he should probably be getting more targets. The more you feed him, the more he's going to be happy. And Big Ben, he started out pretty slow too, and after the Jacksonville game, dude, they had him questioning whether or not he still had it, but he came back, and he's been on fire since. And Le'Veon Bell, he's going to need about 20 to 30 touches, so he could stay happy, and he's going to get his backfield receptions. So, I mean, there's only so much that can go around, and Juju Smith-Schuster, he's only getting about 4 to 6 targets a game, And Martavis seems to have a problem with that, but Martavis doesn't realize he's getting more around 6 to 8. So you can't be mad at Juju because he's making the most of his opportunity. So Martavis really just needs to put his head down and go out there, run the plays. And if you get the ball, you get the ball. And if not, on to the next play. Because like I said, this team is playing for a Super Bowl and they really don't need these locker room incidents or distractions, because once you're out here requesting for a trade and it's known and you're not really hiding it, the media is going to run with it and the fans are going to turn on you, especially Steeler fans. They're so passionate about their team. They love the Steelers, okay? They'll do anything. They're all about the team, and you need to be all about the team. But we're going to see. Personally, I think that they should have traded him. Mike Tomlin thought otherwise, but I think they should have. You don't really want a guy like that on your team. I wouldn't want him on my team. And as far as it goes, I mean, like I said, the guy's getting 6 to 8 targets a game, and he's just not making the most of it. Okay? You can't be complaining about a rookie getting 4 to 6. You just got to do your job. And there's been talk about like who's going to want to take a guy that has had marijuana issues, and he's like a Josh Gordon type and Justin Blackmon. But Martavis Bryant, he's lucky enough to be on the Steelers because that's a team who, you know what, they got a strong head in the front office on their shoulders, so they're going to stick by you and they're going to help. So he's lucky to even be here still and have this opportunity, because guys like Justin Blackmon's never coming back in the league again. He's done. And Josh Gordon, he's still fighting, and Roger Goodell doesn't really want to deal with that right now, so he's got to wait. So Martavis Bryant needs to realize, you know what, I'm a lucky guy. I have a good situation, and I shouldn't really be complaining. But like I said, I still think they should trade him, because you can't have a guy like this. And as far as like what teams would give up, you're not going to get much for him. But I believe it was his agent who said the other day that, or someone said the other day, that he's planning on playing out the rest of his contract, which ends in 2018, and after that he's going to be gone. And Martavis, he's a talented player. He's got all the talent in the world, so I really wouldn't want to let a guy like that walk for free. So you're not going to get much. You're not going to get a second, third, or fourth round pick at all. That'd be crazy. But you might be able to get like a 5th round pick from maybe like a team like the Jets, or even like a 6th or a 7th from a team like Seattle. Seattle would be interesting because Pete Carroll, he knows how to control guys. There's a lot of different personalities on that team with Richard Sherman and that defense. You know, they're really outspoken guys and whatnot, but he does well to control them and to keep them happy. And I feel like Martavis going there with Doug Baldwin on the other side, that could be successful. And Russell Wilson, I know, would be able to get Martavis the ball, I guess, more than he does in Pittsburgh. But like I said, I mean, we'll see, because Mike Tomlin doesn't really want to trade him. And another team that would be interesting is the Jets. They were supposed to be rebuilding this year, and you know what? They're 3-3, or actually 3-4, I believe. But I think they're a team that could send like a 6th or 7th round pick for Martavis, because I don't really trust the Jets as far as drafting goes. So why not get like a guy you know who has talent and give up your 6th round pick for him, or 7th. Todd Bowles is really a no nonsense guy. And I remember him when he was the secondary coach in Miami. He did well and did well as the defensive coordinator for the Cardinals. And he's got this Jets team. Let's be honest, they don't really have like the best NFL talent in the world, but they're competing, and everyone expected them to go 0-16. But look at them now. They lost to the Patriots a couple weeks ago, but they were up 14-0, and they were up by 14 points against Miami last week. And you know what? The offense fell off in the second half. And if you were to have a guy like Martavis on there, you're not really going to see that drop off, because he's a dangerous player. So as far as it all goes, I mean, it looks like that they're going to keep him, but I'm not really sure how long you could keep a talent like that on the scout team. It's either you got to play him and give him the ball, or you either got to trade him. I feel like Tomlin, he knows what he's doing, but I'm not really sure how it's going to end up for Martavis, because like I said, we're going to learn a lot about him coming forward. It's either Martavis is like, nope, no, this isn't right. Okay, I need the ball. Or he's like, you know what? I was wrong. You guys stuck by me. You guys helped me get through my problem. And, you know, I'm just going to go out there and fight, and we're going to go and try and win this Super Bowl. But like I said, we'll see. Only time can tell. So he's going to be out this Sunday. And, you know, I expect Juju Smith-Schuster to have a pretty good game this Sunday, with Darius Slay covering Antonio Brown. Schuster, he's like a little utility type of guy. You need him in the slot, he could play. You need him on the outside, he could be there too. And he's done well to make the most of his opportunity. And you know what? With Martavis not playing, he might even lose his starting job to Juju this weekend, Because, like I said, Tomlin, he's a no-nonsense guy. If you, next man up, if you're not going to help the team, then boom, Juju's there. So we'll see how it goes. I think Martavis I think he will come out of it, and he'll come out a better person out of this, and he'll be more about the team. But like I said, only time will tell. But that's going to wrap it up for today. Thanks for listening, and this was the GSMC Football Podcast. We'll talk to you later.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.